What's going on, guys? If you've been thinking about starting a business but you're a little bit hesitant and held back because of all the things you hear about, the high failure rates, the chances of success are quite low, all the challenges you're going to face, the emotional weight you've got to hold, and all the challenges that come with business, it holds a lot of people back. I know it held me back in my early years. If I had people around me pointing out the things that I'm going to point out in this video, I probably would have jumped into business a little bit earlier. So what I'm going to discuss is why I don't think business is as hard as everyone makes out like it is. Now, I'm not saying it's not challenging. It absolutely is challenging, and there's lots of walls to jump over, and you've got to learn a lot about yourself to move past these things. But it's not as bad and as hard as everyone says it is. I think there's a lot more positives that come with being a business owner than working for someone else. So I want to jump into a few reasons why I think business isn't as hard as everyone says it is, and the reasons why I think it's a far better option than working for someone else. Now, I'm not saying go and quit your job tomorrow, but I do think that more people should start businesses around their passions and start to build and create the life that they want. So straight up, number one is you get to build and create something that's meaningful, all right? And that sort of fills a bit of a gap in your life. A lot of people are looking for more meaning and trying to find purpose in their life, and a business is the perfect vehicle for that, because you get to build and create something exactly the way you want it. And business is a very complicated, complex thing. You can, there's so many angles you can go at it from. And you get to make every single decision along the way and build it exactly the way you want. So it can really help you feel like purpose in your life and build something meaningful that either serves, obviously it serves a customer in a sort of a meaningful way. I mean, there's so many business models out there, but it really helps you to fill that gap of trying to find purpose and meaning in your life. Number two is, following on from that, you get to engage in your passion every single day. So if you build a business around your passion, which I would recommend, I know people that build businesses around things just because it's for money, and it's not a really long-term viable option. Usually at some point you'll reach a challenge, a few challenges in a row, and it's going to potentially knock your motivation down. You might decide that the business isn't for you. So if you have a passion, you can move through those challenges a lot easier because you actually enjoy the industry that you're in. So you get to be working on your passion every single day, which turns from having to go to work every day to, almost just doing what you want to do all day. And in turn, you get to make some money from that as well. So that's a really powerful one. Number three is, it's more than just money. So it's, business, obviously businesses run on profits and cash flow. But what I would recommend is building a business around your passion, which therefore means it's going to be bigger than money. It's going to be, you're serving a certain audience or a certain customer base. And you're making an impact, whatever your business is, on their lives every single day. If whatever product you sell or service you sell, you're going to make an impact on other people. So that means, for me, that's the fulfilling side of business. I get to go and change other people's lives or help other people through the business that I've created, which means it's more than money. Money's great, but there's so much more than money. And I think building, a business around your passion will help you to sort of see that side, that the business is more than money. And that's a really big positive of business. The next one is, it's super rewarding because you get to build this thing that you wanted to build exactly the way you want it. And, the feeling of the rewards you get from that, like I said, you get money, you also get the relationships you build with your customers. There's so many things that you get from business that you just don't get from a full-time job working for someone else. Really big one. It's business is super rewarding. It is challenging at times, but I think how rewarding it is way overcomes how challenging it is at times. Next one is you get to take credit for all the work that you put in. So if you're working for someone else full time, obviously your boss is taking the credit. You might do whatever it is you do. Unless you're in a high up management position, your boss is going to be able to take your boss is going to take credit for pretty much all your work, and that can get a little bit unmotivating pretty quick. I know I did in my last job. I worked in a big company with a lot of people, and you're basically just a number. When you build your own business, you're the business. The customers come to you to ask questions and to solve problems. You're the business, and you get to take credit for everything that you do. Next one is you don't have people in charge of your decisions. So there's no one telling you what to do. Now, at a certain level, we all serve someone. If you're in business, you serve your customers. So technically, yes, their requests you have to take on board, and you make decisions based around what your customers want. But it's a far better dynamic than having a single person or a group of people at the top of a company micromanaging what you do every single day, right? So yes, you have to answer to your customers, but usually your customers are a lot more forgiving, in my opinion. Some people may not think that. And if you have good relationships with your customers, they're not going to really make much of a difference to the decisions you make, because obviously the decisions you make have helped serve them, and they're probably going to be pretty thankful of that. The last one I've got is you've got the opportunity to create some sort of freedom in your life, whether that's financial freedom or whether that's time freedom. Whatever it is, you do create more freedom. At the start of a business, when you're in the growth stage or the scale stage, it can be pretty chaotic, and you can find yourself with far less time than you did at your full-time job. But if you look back at all the other positives I just mentioned, I would much rather give up more of my time to experience all the different things, like how rewarding business is, the relationships you build, and creating something meaningful and working in your passion. There's so much more value and positivity in that than working for someone else and being dictated around time, and then having like a little bit of time in the afternoon where you just waste your time and do nothing. Business is consuming at times, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I could never go back to a full-time job. Even if for some reason my business fell over tomorrow, I'll go straight back and start another business. I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. And once you get into that sort of rhythm, you get your business to a certain point and you feel that freedom, you feel how good it feels to not be told what to do every day from a boss, you'll never want to go back. All right. So as much as business is difficult and it can be challenging, it's not, in my opinion, it's just not as hard as everyone makes out like it is. I think honestly, working for someone else is way harder than going into business, because I just think there's so many more positives that come with business. Most people who work in a full-time job, I'm not saying everybody, but most people that work a full-time job are just there for money, and that's a little bit depressing, let's be honest. If you want to create more meaning in your life and experience all these positives, business is the only thing that's going to give that to you. So have a think over these. If you're honestly thinking of starting a business and you're held back, it isn't as hard as everyone says it is. There's so much good in business, and you're going to grow so much more as a person. Obviously, your business is one thing, but you will grow as a person. You'll become more confident. You'll learn to speak better, articulate better. You'll be that. You'll learn how to deal with relationships better. There's so much that you'll learn personally just through building a business. So, in my opinion, if you're thinking of starting a business, just start it. All right, you don't have to quit your job straight away, but just start, and you'll be surprised at how good you feel about that. All right, guys, chat soon.